The Ghana NCD Alliance has participated in the 4th Global NCD Alliance Forum in Kigali, Rwanda, ahead of the 4th UN High-Level Meeting on NCD's schedule for September 2025. Mr. Labran Musa, National Coordinator of the Ghana NCD Alliance, explains the forum's relevance to the journey against NCDs in Ghana.
Kigali, the event happened to be the 4th Global High-Level Meeting or Global Meeting convening on non-communicable diseases, which was held in Kigali. For the first time, it was held in Africa. And of course, some of us were very happy that it took place in Africa. So at least we'll be able to, continue to speak, more to the issues that we think that are confronting the African continent, and more especially because, our continent having to be suffering much when it comes to issues of non-communicable diseases. If you look at the statistics, for instance, 74 million people die annually from non-communicable diseases, representing 74% of all deaths in the world today. But you see, if you look at it again, it tells us that about 80% of these deaths, are from low and middle income country, and Africa also has been one of the largest continents. With a lot of population. So this tells that the burden of non-communicable diseases is actually in our part of the world, where about 20% happen in other parts of the world. This tells you that indeed they have the system, we don't have the system. So for us, it was very good that the event took place in Kigali. We were told that over 700 people, civil society organizations, people live with NCDs, the relevant private sector, all convened, including WHO and other developmental organizations, convened in Kigali to discuss. In fact, like I said, it is the global convening, for all non-communicable disease actors. Now, so what are some of the issues that came up? So it was basically to discuss NCD in its entirety. So every aspect of non-communicable diseases were discussed at that event.
Chris Agbega, an advocate and person living with NCD, also shares some key learnings from the forum.
Generally, the conference was very inclusive. Where it was held at, for a wheelchair user, I'm very, very keen on accessibility, and it was accessible by all standards. It was very, very engaging because at every level there were activities going on. It was so well, the coordination was so well done, and they also put into context or into understanding that when it comes to persons living with NCDs, you need to understand that there's the need to rest. You understand there's the need to be able to balance your health. So there was health support. Then there was this place called the community zone where you go and just relax, get your notes and everything together before you join another session. So it was very, very engaging. NCD youths, a lot of youth participation, a lot of, what you call them, people from the medical field. And of course, more importantly, persons with the lived experience were very much present during the forum. And it was, for me, I think it was a very good one, also because it was here in Africa, right? Because you would ask yourself, okay, can we bring the world to this place, right? And we did, and it was very, very impactful. I got to speak at two sessions. One was the pre-conference organized by the NCD Alliance themselves. It was to educate fellow advocates on how to use the public narrative framework to advocate the story of self, story of us, story of now. These are toolkits that I was introduced to in 2018, and since then I've been able to teach and then I've been able to teach, other advocates across the globe on issues when it comes to how to advocate for the lived experience. And then later on, I spoke at the WHO side events that had to do with meaningful involvement, and that was an impactful one. I made sure the voices of persons living with NCDs were heard through my voice, and at the end of the day, I know that the change that was needed was achieved that day.
The Ghana NCD Alliance held a one-day seminar for journalists, CSOs, and persons living with NCDs with a call on stakeholders to intensify advocacy efforts and demand stronger government commitments ahead of the fourth high-level meeting on NCDs. Mr. Labra Musa emphasized the urgent need for increased investments in NCD prevention and control and highlighted the critical role such measures play in achieving universal health coverage in Ghana. He urged the government and stakeholders to prioritize NCDs in national health policies and allocate more resources to combat these diseases.
Ensuring the government, is put to task, to account, for whatever they are doing on non-communicable diseases. They should be available to always share their, some of the key challenges that they are facing, and some of the investment they are also, investing on NCDs, and then when you talk about accountability and monitoring, and civil society too are also, we should give the opportunity to also support in monitoring and then evaluation. So here I'm talking about the fact that and that's what civil society sometimes would come out with shadow reports, and these are accountability mechanism, just so they're able to checkmate each other to ensure that the right thing are done, people are getting value for money. And then the one of the critical parts is investment, because at the global level what we are told is that only about 2% of global funding go to non-communicable diseases. You can imagine that meanwhile other disease conditions take huge sum of investment and then funding. But we also know that the absence of NCDs is growing and keeps on growing. So how can we address that? We can only address or arrest this situation by ensuring that at the global level there's a call for governments at every level to commit enough resources or investment in these areas, so that we can have second of that. So this is one of the